Gentlemen, let me begin with a truth that may shock you. By the time a man reaches his 60s, more than half are already struggling with an enlarged prostate. And yet what most men don't realize is that the constant nighttime trips to the bathroom, the weak stream, the embarrassing urgency, these are not simply the price of aging. Even more shocking, research shows that something as simple as the food you put on your plate today can start shrinking your prostate in ways no expensive pill ever could. That's right, nature already placed the answer in front of you, but no one bothered to tell you. I'm Dr. James. For more than 30 years, I've devoted my life to helping men reclaim their strength, protect their prostate, and restore their confidence. I've treated thousands of patients, taught doctors around the world, and studied every angle of men's health. And I can tell you with certainty there are natural solutions that work, and they have been hiding in plain sight. Here's the paradox. Billions are spent on drugs, supplements, and surgeries each year, yet the most powerful relief often sits quietly in the produce aisle. While men are told to accept discomfort as normal, the truth is that certain fruits can calm inflammation, ease urinary symptoms, and give you back the freedom you thought was gone forever. That's why today I'm going to reveal 5 specific fruits, backed by science, that can help shrink your prostate naturally. When used the right way, they don't just ease your symptoms, they restore your energy and dignity. And stay with me until the end because I'll not only tell you what these fruits are, I'll also show you what you can do today, right now, to multiply their power and finally take control of your prostate health. Before we get started, make sure you subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you never miss another tip that could protect your prostate and improve your health. And I'd love to hear from you. If you find this video helpful, type 1 in the comments. If you think I can do better, type 0 and let me know how I can serve you better. Now that you understand the truth no one tells you, let's begin with the first fruit on our list. It's something simple, familiar, and often sitting in your kitchen right now. Yet hidden inside this everyday food is a powerful compound proven to calm inflammation and protect your prostate. 1. Tomatoes. The Lycopene Powerhouse. When I think about the men I've treated over the years, one story often comes to mind. A gentleman in his late 60s came into my office tired and discouraged. He had been waking up 5, sometimes 6 times every night to use the bathroom. His energy was gone, his confidence had slipped, and he told me plainly, "Doctor, I just feel old." What struck me wasn't just his words, it was the defeat in his voice, the resignation that this was simply how life was going to be. Yet what he didn't realize was that sometimes the simplest solutions are right in front of us, waiting quietly on the dinner table. And in his case, one of the most powerful changes began with something as humble as a tomato. Tomatoes may look ordinary, but inside they carry one of the most remarkable compounds for men's health, lycopene. Lycopene is what gives the tomato its vibrant red color, but its power goes far beyond appearances. In the body, lycopene acts as a potent antioxidant traveling through the bloodstream and targeting areas of inflammation, particularly in the prostate. You see, as men age, oxidative stress builds up in prostate tissue. This stress is like rust forming on metal. It weakens cells, encourages abnormal growth, and fuels the inflammation that makes the prostate swell. Lycopene works like a natural shield, lowering that oxidative stress and helping the prostate return to a calmer, healthier state. Now, this isn't just my opinion, it's supported by decades of research. Large-scale studies have shown that men with higher levels of lycopene in their diet have significantly lower rates of prostate enlargement and even prostate cancer. In fact, some research suggests that eating tomato-based foods several times a week can reduce the risk of serious prostate problems by up to 30%. For a man sitting across from me in my clinic, that's not just a statistic, that's hope, that's dignity, that's the chance to sleep through the night without interruption. But here's where many men make a mistake. They eat raw tomato slices in a salad and wonder why nothing changes. The truth is, lycopene is fat-soluble, which means it's best absorbed when tomatoes are cooked and paired with a healthy fat like olive oil. Think about a warm bowl of tomato soup, a rich marinara sauce simmering on the stove, or even tomato juice enjoyed with breakfast. These aren't just meals, they're medicine disguised as comfort food. I've had patients tell me that after weeks of regularly adding cooked tomatoes into their diet, they noticed less nighttime urgency, fewer trips to the bathroom, and an overall sense that their body was finally on their side again. On a more personal note, I'll never forget that same patient coming back months later. His face was brighter, his energy had returned, and he leaned across my desk and said, "Doc, I actually slept through the night for the first time in years." He wasn't cured overnight, but the simple act of embracing a tomato-rich diet gave him something priceless: relief, hope, and control over his life once more. That moment reminded me that medicine doesn't always have to come from a pharmacy. Sometimes it comes from the earth, served on your plate in the simplest of forms. So as you picture yourself walking through the produce section of your grocery store, don't just glance past the tomatoes. See them for what they truly are: one of the most powerful allies in your fight for prostate health. With every serving, you're not just filling your stomach, you're giving your prostate the nutrients it craves to heal, to shrink, and to let you live without constant discomfort. And while tomatoes are an incredible starting point, they're only the beginning of this journey. Because there's another fruit, sweet, refreshing, and often thought of only as a summer treat, that holds a secret power to boost circulation and ease the pressure you feel every single day. Let's talk about that next. 2. Watermelon, the circulation booster. I remember one summer afternoon, a patient of mine in his early 70s came to see me. He looked exhausted, not because he hadn't been active, but because he had barely slept the night before. He confessed that every couple of hours, his bladder would wake him up, and no matter how tired he was, he had to get up and shuffle to the bathroom. As he sat in front of me, he sighed and said, "Doctor, I just want one night of peace." Those words hit me deeply because I hear them far too often. But what most men don't realize is that sometimes the answer to that peace doesn't come in the form of another prescription. It can come in the form of something as ordinary and refreshing as a slice of watermelon. Watermelon has long been a symbol of summer. Families slice it open at picnics, children laugh with juice dripping down their chins, and we rarely think of it as anything more than a sweet seasonal indulgence. Yet inside this fruit lies a compound that can transform the health of your prostate: citrulline. Citrulline is a natural amino acid that improves blood flow by helping your body produce more nitric oxide. Nitric oxide relaxes and widens blood vessels, improving circulation not just to your muscles and heart, but also to your prostate. And here's why that matters. Better circulation means less pressure, more oxygen, and healthier tissue. When your prostate receives that boost in blood flow, inflammation eases and the swollen tissue begins to soften. And watermelon doesn't stop there. Like tomatoes, it also contains lycopene, adding another layer of anti-inflammatory power. This means that every juicy bite is working double duty, improving circulation while also protecting prostate cells from oxidative stress. I often tell my patients, don't underestimate the power of what seems simple. When a man adds watermelon into his routine, he's not just quenching his thirst, he's giving his body the tools to fight back against the relentless symptoms of prostate enlargement. One man I treated decided to take this advice seriously. Instead of reaching for cookies or chips in the evening, he began enjoying a small bowl of chilled watermelon. Within weeks, he noticed that his nighttime trips to the bathroom were fewer and his mornings started with more energy because he was actually resting. When he came back to see me, he smiled and said, "Doc, I never thought something I loved as a kid could help me so much as an old man." That simple joy in his voice reminded me of the profound impact even small changes can have. Now let's think about this together. You don't need to turn your diet upside down or buy expensive supplements to get these results. All you need to do is look at that bright red wedge of watermelon not as a guilty pleasure, but as medicine that your body welcomes. You can blend it into smoothies, eat it fresh in the afternoon sun, or even enjoy it alongside your breakfast. And every time you do, you're not only hydrating your body, but also easing the burden on your prostate. So, the next time you feel discouraged, remember that healing often starts with simple choices. Watermelon is more than fruit. It's a reminder that relief can be sweet, natural, and within your reach. And while this fruit helps open up circulation and calm your nights, there's another fruit that acts like a shield, guarding your prostate cells from deeper harm. This one is small, easy to carry, and might already be sitting in a bowl on your kitchen counter. Let's uncover its secret next. 3. Grapes, the Resveratrol shield. Not long ago, I was speaking with a man in his late 60s who had grown tired of feeling betrayed by his own body. He told me that simple things, like a long car ride, a walk in the park, or even sitting through a church service, had become stressful because he never knew when he'd feel the sudden urge to find a bathroom. As he spoke, I could see the frustration in his eyes. He felt trapped, as though his life was shrinking right along with his confidence. That's when I explained to him that there are natural ways to protect the prostate, ways that don't require more medications or invasive procedures. One of those ways begins with something as small and familiar as a handful of grapes. When most people think of grapes, they think of a quick snack or maybe a glass of wine, but rarely do they imagine this fruit as medicine for the prostate. Yet grapes, especially the red and purple varieties, are loaded with a powerful compound called Resveratrol. Resveratrol is a natural antioxidant that acts almost like armor, shielding the cells of the prostate from damage. Over time, oxidative stress and chronic inflammation wear down the tissue, encouraging abnormal growth and swelling. But Resveratrol fights back. It reduces oxidative stress, calms inflammation, and helps maintain the healthy balance of prostate cell growth. The science is compelling. In laboratory studies and clinical observations, Resveratrol has been shown to interfere with the very processes that fuel prostate enlargement. It blocks harmful signals that tell cells to multiply excessively and strengthens the body's own ability to repair itself. For men, this means fewer symptoms, less pressure on the bladder, and a greater sense of control. And unlike medications that often carry unwelcome side effects, grapes offer this benefit naturally, wrapped in sweetness and simplicity. I remember encouraging that same gentleman to replace his usual evening cookie with a small bowl of grapes. At first, he was skeptical. He laughed and said, "Doc, you really think these little things can help?" But after several weeks of staying consistent, he came back with a smile that told me everything before he even opened his mouth. "I don't know how to explain it," he said, "but I feel lighter. The urgency is less, and I can actually enjoy my evenings again." That moment was powerful because it reminded me how sometimes the smallest choices lead to the biggest transformations. And grapes aren't difficult to enjoy. You can toss them into your lunchbox, freeze them for a refreshing summer treat, or add them to a salad for a burst of sweetness. Every time you eat them, you're not just satisfying your taste buds, you're reinforcing a shield around your prostate, giving it the protection it desperately needs. It's such a simple step, yet it carries with it a profound message. Healing doesn't always require a complicated solution. Sometimes it's right there in the palm of your hand. So the next time you see grapes at the grocery store, I encourage you to see them differently. See them as tiny protectors, each one packed with the strength of resveratrol, each one a small act of defense for your health and dignity. You don't have to feel trapped by your body. You don't have to accept discomfort as normal. You can begin to build your shield, one handful at a time. And while grapes guard your prostate with a quiet but steady strength, there's another fruit that fights in a different way. This one is small, deep blue in color, and carries within it some of the most powerful anti-inflammatory compounds known to science. Let's uncover why these little berries can make such a big difference in your life. 4. Blueberries, the inflammation fighter. I still remember a man in his early 70s who sat across from me, visibly worn down by years of living with an enlarged prostate. He wasn't just tired from the physical strain of waking up 4 or 5 times a night, he was emotionally drained. He said, "Doc, I feel like my body is at war with me. No matter what I do, I can't seem to get ahead of this." His words stayed with me because that's exactly how many men feel, and I told him something that surprised him. Sometimes the most powerful soldiers in that battle are not found in a pill bottle, but in the fresh produce section, in fruits so small you could hold a dozen of them in your hand. I was talking about blueberries. Blueberries may seem ordinary, but their power lies in the deep blue pigment that gives them their color. That pigment is packed with anthocyanins, one of the most potent anti-inflammatory compounds in nature. Inflammation is at the heart of prostate problems. It causes swelling, puts pressure on the bladder, and disrupts normal urinary flow. When you reduce inflammation, you don't just ease discomfort, you actually give the prostate room to function more normally. Blueberries help your body do exactly that. What I love about blueberries is that their benefits are not just physical. They touch the emotional side of health too. Many men I've worked with tell me that adding blueberries to their daily routine feels like a symbol of taking back control. It's a small step, but it carries weight. Eating a handful of blueberries with breakfast or sprinkling them over oatmeal becomes a ritual, a reminder that they're actively choosing health instead of passively accepting decline. That sense of agency is incredibly powerful. The science backs this up. Diets rich in anthocyanins have been linked to lower markers of inflammation in the body, improved urinary symptoms, and even a reduced risk of aggressive prostate conditions. Blueberries also protect the DNA in your cells from oxidative damage, which is another hidden driver of prostate enlargement. In simple terms, they don't just reduce the fire of inflammation, they help prevent the sparks that light it in the first place. One patient of mine started adding blueberries to his evening routine. Instead of reaching for ice cream or cookies, he began ending his dinner with a bowl of fresh berries. A few weeks later, he told me he was sleeping longer stretches without interruption. He still had to get up once or twice during the night, but it was nothing like before, and perhaps even more importantly, he felt encouraged. He said, "For the first time in years, I feel like I'm making progress instead of losing ground." That hope in his voice was as important as the physical improvement, because healing is as much about mindset as it is about biology. So the next time you pass by blueberries at the store, don't think of them as just another fruit. Think of them as tiny warriors fighting silently inside your body to bring down inflammation and protect your prostate. Every handful you eat is a message to yourself. I am not powerless. I am investing in my future, in my health, in my freedom. And while blueberries fight the fire of inflammation, there is another fruit that works differently, one that soothes from the inside out, helping not only your prostate, but also your digestion and overall vitality. It's tropical, sweet, and often overlooked, yet it carries enzymes and nutrients that can change the way your body heals. Let's talk about that next. 5. Papaya, the enzyme healer. I once had a patient in his mid-60s, a retired teacher who came into my office carrying a quiet kind of frustration. He had done everything his doctors told him, taken the medications, followed the instructions, but still the nights were restless, the urgency lingered, and the discomfort seemed to shadow him through his days. As he sat there, he told me, "Doctor, I just want to feel normal again." His words carried a mix of weariness and longing, and I could see he was searching for something gentler, something natural, something that would give him relief without robbing him of his energy or his dignity. That conversation led me to share with him one of the most overlooked treasures for prostate health, the papaya. Papaya is often thought of as nothing more than a sweet tropical fruit, enjoyed on vacations or at family gatherings. But beneath its bright orange flesh lies a combination of nutrients that make it a quiet powerhouse for men's health. Like tomatoes and watermelon, papaya is rich in lycopene, which helps reduce oxidative stress and calm the inflammation that keeps the prostate swollen. But papaya brings something unique to the table: enzymes. The most important of these is papain, a digestive enzyme that eases the burden on your gut and, in turn, lowers the overall level of inflammation throughout the body. You see, poor digestion often fuels hidden inflammation, and when that inflammation spreads, the prostate pays the price. By supporting healthy digestion, papaya indirectly lightens the load on your prostate, giving it space to heal. Papaya also delivers beta-carotene, which the body converts into vitamin A, strengthening immune defenses and supporting tissue repair. Together, these compounds form a kind of healing orchestra, each playing a part in calming the storm that enlarges the prostate. It's not about one nutrient working in isolation, it's about the harmony of many working together, just as nature intended. The retired teacher I mentioned began eating papaya a few times each week. At first, he was skeptical, thinking it was too simple to matter. But over time, something shifted. He started noticing that his digestion improved, the bloating he often felt at night eased, and most importantly, his trips to the bathroom became less frequent. When he returned for his follow-up, his face carried a lighter expression. He leaned forward and said, "You know, Doc, I didn't think this would work, but I'm finally sleeping through the night again." That moment was powerful, not because papaya was some miracle cure, but because it reminded him that his body could still respond, still heal, and still give him back the simple joys of everyday life. Papaya is easy to enjoy. You can slice it fresh, blend it into a smoothie, or eat it as a refreshing dessert after dinner. Its sweetness feels like a treat, but every bite carries healing compounds that go to work quietly, easing the inflammation and stress on your prostate. It's a reminder that sometimes healing doesn't come with fanfare. It comes gently in the form of a fruit you may have overlooked. So the next time you see papaya, don't pass it by. Think of it as more than just fruit. Think of it as a natural healer offering you a way back to restful nights, steady energy, and the freedom to live without constant discomfort. And as powerful as papaya can be, it becomes even more effective when paired with a clear plan of action. Because knowing the right fruits is one thing, but knowing exactly what you need to do today to take control of your prostate health is what truly changes the game. Let's talk about that next. 6. What you need to do, tap today. After sharing these 5 powerful fruits with so many men over the years, I've noticed a common reaction. They nod, they take notes, and then they say, "Doctor, this all sounds great, but what exactly should I do today? Where do I even start?" It's an honest question, and I understand why it comes up so often. When you've spent years feeling defeated by prostate symptoms, the idea that something as simple as food could help seems almost too easy. But the truth is, healing begins the moment you decide to take the first step, no matter how small. Here's what I tell my patients. Start with one choice. Don't overwhelm yourself by trying to change everything in a single day. Instead, pick one fruit from the list. Tomatoes, watermelon, grapes, blueberries, or papaya, and make it part of your routine right now. Maybe it's adding cooked tomatoes to your dinner tonight. Maybe it's keeping a bowl of grapes in your refrigerator so they're the first thing you reach for when you want a snack. It doesn't matter which fruit you choose first. What matters is that you choose something and stay consistent. The prostate responds not to grand gestures, but to steady, reliable care. I remember a man in his late 60s who felt paralyzed by indecision. He kept telling me, "I don't know if I should start with tomatoes or blueberries, or maybe I should try all of them at once." I gently reminded him that the key wasn't perfection, it was progress. He decided to begin with blueberries, sprinkling them on his oatmeal every morning. Weeks later, he came back smiling. He still had some symptoms, but his urgency had eased, and for the first time in years, he felt hopeful. That hope didn't come from a complicated treatment plan. It came from one small change repeated daily. Consistency is everything. Your prostate didn't become enlarged overnight, and it won't shrink overnight either. But when you nourish your body every day with the right foods, you create an environment where healing becomes possible. Along with adding these fruits, I encourage men to drink enough water, take a short walk after meals, and cut back on alcohol and caffeine in the evening. These simple habits may sound ordinary, but together they reduce inflammation, improve circulation, and protect your prostate more effectively than most people realize. And there's another layer to this that I think often gets overlooked. Making these choices isn't just about biology. It's about reclaiming control over your life. Every time you reach for a fruit instead of processed snacks, every time you choose water instead of soda, you're sending yourself a message. I still have power. I still have agency. I'm not at the mercy of my age or my symptoms. That mindset shift is just as healing as the nutrients themselves. So what do you need to do today? Begin. Not tomorrow, not next week, today. Pick one fruit. Add it to one meal. Do it again tomorrow. Keep going. Over time, those choices will compound, and you'll look back and realize how far you've come. And remember, you don't have to do this alone. I've walked this path with thousands of men, and I've seen how these small steps lead to profound change. Now, you may be wondering, is there a way to make these results even stronger? Is there a way to multiply the benefits of these fruits so that your prostate gets the maximum support possible? The answer is yes, and in our next discussion, I'll reveal the simple daily habits that can turn these natural remedies into a powerful lifelong shield for your prostate health. Stay with me, because what comes next could change the way you live the rest of your life. 7. The bigger picture. Lifestyle with purpose. Over the years, I've had countless men sit in my office, hopeful yet uncertain. They listen carefully as I explain the benefits of certain foods, the power of fruits like tomatoes, watermelon, grapes, blueberries, and papaya. Many of them nod and say, "I can do that, Doc. I can eat differently." And that's a wonderful beginning. But here's something I've learned after more than 3 decades in men's health. Food is only part of the story. To truly protect your prostate and reclaim your life, you need to see the bigger picture. You need to live with purpose. Let me share a memory. A gentleman in his early 70s once told me, "I feel like I'm shrinking, not just in body, but in spirit." His prostate symptoms had worn him down to the point where he no longer felt like himself. He stopped golfing with friends because he was embarrassed by the frequent bathroom breaks. He avoided long drives with his wife because he didn't want to be the reason they had to pull over. Life felt smaller, tighter, and lonelier. But as he began making small but steady changes, not only in diet but also in daily habits, he discovered something profound. He was stronger than he realized. It began with simple choices. He started walking every evening after dinner, just 20 minutes around the block. That walk improved his circulation, lowered his stress, and gave him better sleep. He made a conscious effort to drink more water during the day and cut back on coffee at night. And of course, he added those prostate-friendly fruits into his meals. It wasn't an overnight transformation, but over months, the pieces began to fit together. He not only noticed fewer symptoms, he felt alive again. This is the essence of lifestyle with purpose. It's not about perfection. It's not about living like a monk or following a rigid plan. It's about daily choices that build on one another, choices that respect your body and your future. Because here's the truth. Your prostate doesn't exist in isolation. It's connected to your heart, your circulation, your metabolism, your emotional well-being. When you care for your whole self, your prostate benefits. When you move more, eat smarter, rest better, and reduce stress. Every organ, including your prostate, works closer to the way nature intended. And let's not forget the emotional piece. Living with prostate symptoms can rob you of confidence and make you feel older than your years. But when you take these purposeful steps, whether it's adding blueberries to your breakfast, walking after dinner, or simply drinking an extra glass of water, you send yourself a powerful message. I am still in control. That mindset shift fuels hope, and hope fuels healing. So as you reflect on these lessons, I encourage you to step back and see the bigger picture. Don't think of these fruits as isolated fixes. Think of them as tools, part of a greater lifestyle that keeps you strong, steady, and free. Each choice you make is like laying a brick, and over time you build something sturdy, a healthier body, a calmer mind, a life that feels whole again. And while these 7 insights have given you a framework for protecting your prostate, there is still one final piece to this journey, perhaps the most important of all. It's the conclusion that ties everything together and leaves you with a clear vision of the life you can reclaim. Stay with me, because what comes next is the heart of the message I want every man over 60 to hear. Conclusion: bringing it all together. In the end, the truth is simple yet profound. Your health is not beyond your control. The 5 fruits we've discussed, tomatoes, watermelon, grapes, blueberries, and papaya, are not exotic remedies or expensive supplements. They are everyday foods available to you right now, waiting to restore balance, calm inflammation, and give you back the freedom you thought was gone forever. Each bite is more than nutrition. It is an act of self-care, a daily investment in your energy, your dignity, and your future. But remember, real healing doesn't happen overnight. Just as your prostate didn't change in a single day, your recovery will be the result of steady, consistent choices. Begin with 1 fruit, 1 meal, 1 small change, and let it grow. Pair these habits with movement, hydration, and restful sleep, and you will discover that your body is capable of more healing than you imagined. Most importantly, never forget that you are not powerless. Every healthy choice is a reminder that you still hold the reins of your life. With patience, persistence, and purpose, you can reclaim the nights, the energy, and the confidence you deserve. Your journey to better prostate health begins today, one choice at a time.